I don't want anybody to tell you or me how great this country is. Oh, what a great country. We're so got a great country. Oh, we got the Constitution. We may not be a perfect country, but by God, we're the best. We're the best on this planet. Does anybody believe that? We have a president of the United States. The president. When you are the president, you are held in a level of esteem, usually, that no one, whether you're Obama, Clinton, when presidents meet, when you see them at funerals, you think, wow, it's still the president of the United States. Article 2, Commander-in-Chief, the executive. It means something. It means something. You may not like these folks. You may not care for them. You may think they're awful. You may. I remember during the course of Nixon and Clinton, people would just go crazy. And you have that right as an American citizen to say this, but there is something that is missing. This is still the president of the United States. The office. If there was any president, Biden, go down the list. I don't care who it is. Biden, Obama, Trump, whoever. I would show them absolute respect. I would shake their hand because I've been shaking the hand of the president, not the man, but the president. It means something to me. May not mean much to a lot of people, but it means something to me. This is our Article 2 president, not Joe Robinette Biden, whatever, but the president. Article 2, the Constitution, not the king, the president. Exactly the same position held by George Washington. Exactly. No difference. And it means something. It means something. Whether people like it or not, it doesn't matter to me. And I don't care whether folks care about it. I don't care whether anyone looks the other way or thinks differently. What I'm telling you is that we have lost all reality when it comes to this hatred. And I think it comes from the fact that we are used to seeing things online, and we're used to seeing people like you know what I'm saying. People in fights and Starbucks fights and people doing horrible things with planes, and we've turned into animals. We just don't know what respect is. It means nothing to us. There's no such thing as decorum. There's no such thing as any of this. And what I'm seeing here that is directed at President Trump transcends anything that I ever thought even remotely possible. I never thought this was possible. Okay, you don't like him, that's fine. I understand that. I'm not going to argue about policy or if you didn't vote for him. I understand this. But people do not understand what it is that you're charging this man with. Now, let me tell you something. You can say whatever you want. You can try to be one of these folks and say, well, you know what he did was wrong. The president of the United States, do you think, in the case of Mar-a-Lago, do you think he was going to commit espionage? Do you honestly think, do you really seriously think that this man deserves to be prosecuted for papers that he kept as a former president? When you turned around and you let Hillary Clinton, who wasn't even a former president, when you looked the other way after you read ad seriatim, the list of crimes that she committed, basically destroying evidence, spoliation, destruction. This is obstruction of justice. Say what you want. Not one charge, not a speeding ticket, nothing. Do you understand this? I am absolutely. This says it best. I'm in disbelief as well, according to Weird Matter. Sad day in American history. Absolutely. Absolutely. Liz says, I don't think the country was in shambles when Trump was president. Nor do I, Liz. Nor do I. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. This is incredible. Now, again, you may not like him. I believe me. There are things that he has done, things that don't make any sense, things that are daft, things that are, well, a lot of things. But this, no. And when you consider also this same man from 2015, when he came down that, what was it? Wasn't it June when he came down that? He came down the Trump Tower escalator. Was that right? Was it 2015? When he came down. And from that moment on, he was targeted and he was made to pay for exhibiting the audacity to think that he was going to run for office without asking for permission. And it never started. The day was Trump escalator. Trump. The date was June 16th, 2015. June 16th, 2015. That's when it all changed. That's when the rules went out the window. That was it. When they said, watch this. Just watch what we do. And from that moment on, from Carter Page to this story where people actually went and paid for cheap kind of 2-bit Harold Robbins kind of writers to put together some storyline that made absolutely no sense. I still don't understand it. About Russian hookers relieving themselves on the percales of some type of, and I hope it wasn't a My Pillow bed. Or a topper even. That would have been just absolutely horrible. And by the way, My Pillow is our sponsor. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. If you're going to do that, but please don't. That's sacrilege. The greatest pillow and percale and sheet and pillowcase and bed company in the world. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Did you ever understand this story? Did that story make sense to you? Can you tell me what this thing is? Did anybody ever explain that to you? Seriously, did anybody ever tell you? Well, you see, what Trump did was he found out that Obama and Michelle had been in that bed. I guess. Isn't that the story? And he wanted to somehow symbolically, through undonism, through some kind of urolagnia, some type of what? Was that it? Is that the story? Did that make any sense to you? I don't know. Does that make any sense to you? Did they ever explain this to you? No. Did they ever tell you about Russian collusion that Hillary Clinton, by the way, said? When Hillary Clinton said, hey, they stole my election. Whoa, wait a minute. Hold it. Was she charged with anything? Nope. Hillary Clinton said, not only did you You stole it, and it was Russian collusion, and you, Trump, were somehow colluding with the Russians. This is not based on any kind of people in Philadelphia putting cardboard on windows and votes that showed up at 3 a.m. No, it was a bunch of people, especially the heads of intelligence agencies. Yeah, sure, put our name down. Sure, sure, Hillary. What do you want? Yeah, put it down there. There's no evidence. I'm in charge of DNI. I'm CIA, I'm FBI. Put my name down. Whatever you want. Whatever you want, honey. Whatever you want. I'm in with you. Sure, put it down. We'll put our reputation. And people said it. And everyone, there was never any evidence of anything. They even went to FISA court judges, and lied. Took these ridiculous stories about whatever the hell this was, and then went before a judge, and nobody was ever held in contempt. There was no orders to show cause, no nothing. And it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And they impeached Trump, who basically picked up the phone and called Zelensky. And even Zelensky said, no, it was a decent call. He goes, hey, can you do something about this? Do you know anything about this? You don't think that happens? You don't think Justin Trudeau picked up the phone and calls Macron and said, hey, listen, you got a guy over there? Yeah. It's done all the time. What are you talking about? They impeached him twice. Second one, I don't even know. I'm not even sure about the first one. They wanted to get him on the emoluments clause, which basically says that a president cannot benefit, in essence, from his. The idea is that you can't receive a gift or a title or something from a foreign company. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. It's nuts. Crazy. But here's the thing. Can you think of any other president, any other politician who even remotely went through what he did? Can you? Anybody? Can you? Thank you, Ms. Lauren, who says, I wish so much President Trump would have pardoned Assange. The evil cabal going to jail and kill our beloved true President Trump also. Well, thank you for that. And I agree with you 100%. I believe that Mr. Assange is a journalist without a doubt. He is a journalist, and I agree 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, Stan Lippman's back. Remember this. Stan Lippman is back. Stan speaks in code, monetized. Right on. That's, by the way, whenever you see Stan, he's the Harold Stassen of his generation. Whenever you see that name, Stan Lippman, you vote for him, whatever it is, or write it in. Stan Lippman. He's a good man. Thank you, Stan. Don't be a stranger. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. Most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. The most incredible thing. Let's go through this right now. So Trump, did you watch? I had to. I turned on Fox News. Oh God. They don't know what to say. They just don't know what to do. Where did they have this morning? People jumping up and down? Mini trampolines in Fox Square, jumping up and down. Hi. We're jumping up and down. And then they were at Bedminster, begging Trump, please help us out. We're dying. These people are off the chain, off the rails. I mean, it was so weird. It was seeing Trump. Let's see the helicopter photo. It was like the slow speed chase. What the hell am I watching here? What is this? And the commentary is so banal. And two people. I would love to do this. Don't ask me why. I would love to go in there and say, you're fired. First is Neil Cavuto. Get out. I don't know what team you're on. Get out. Go to CNN. Go call Zaslav. Tell him you want a job there. You and Shep Smith can work there. I don't know what your problem is. Get out. And Brett Baer, you are so boring. You could literally, actually, and truly reverse teenage pregnancy by explaining the Sex Act. You are so boring. You are like desiccant. You basically, I don't know what it is. You are horrid. And you're making me act as the mendicant by begging, please stop. And then McCollum and these people. I watch it today. Oh dear God! And you've got great people on like Andy McCarthy and it was John Yoo on, maybe I think John Yoo, and they got some good people on, and Dershowitz is good, and Charlie. Why don't you let them talk? Why? What? Let them talk for 20 minutes. They're lawyers. This is a don't do this round robin thing. What are you doing? No wonder your show sucks. No wonder Rachel Maddow is kicking your ass. Rachel Maddow, dear God. With that clipped assistant principal whole thing, she's kicking your ass. She was always very good because she was consistent. She's like McDonald's. May not like it, but you know what? Sometimes you go, oh, what the hell? And you go from one to the next, and they're exactly the same. That's Rachel Maddow. That's her whole thing. That's over with. It's so done. It's so finished. It's so through. It's not even remotely funny. It's so funny. And the president. What would you say if you could meet the president right now? What would you say to him? What would you say to him? What would you say? Right now, seriously, what would you say to the president? Right this moment. What would you say to him? Preferably something short and sweet. What would you say? What would you say? This is the most important thing in the world. What would you say to him? I'd say thank you. And I'm sorry. Thank you. See, Marie O'Brien. Thank you. Thank you. And if the president, if he were to say, listen, I want you to understand something. If you want to make a deal with these people, if you say, listen, you're 77 years old, just cut bait. Just say, you know what? Forget it. I'm just, and if they say, okay, we'll drop all the charges, just don't run again. I understand completely. And I know you're going to say, no, he'll never do that. But you know what? If he did, I would say, I understand completely. You've been through more. This was 8 years ago, since 2015, June of 2015. Look at what he's been through. This lifetime of horror, while this crook, this absolute imposter, this criminal cartel, this crime family remains in office. Today marks the centenary of one of my favorite presidents, Calvin Coolidge. Calvin Coolidge is the only president I'm aware of who left with a smaller budget. He shrunk the government. Let me say this again. He didn't cut taxes. He didn't lower spending. He shrunk the budget. The government. He shrunk it. This is unheard of. And this is the most, we got a Polk County. Bless your heart. Polk County. We're in Polk County. Land of Lakes, Lakeland, or where y'all from? Polk County. Grady Judd category, territory. The great Grady Judd. From the Lakeland Civic Center years ago. Spent a lot of time there. In any event. Calvin Coolidge left. He replaced Warren Gamaliel Harding, who was considered to be, for years, the most crooked president ever. Teapot Dome, the oil reserves, the old story where he lost the China, if it's true, the White House China in a poker game. They believe it or not, some people believe his wife Florence, poisoned him. He had a love child, and this was the worst. Franklin Pierce was probably the worst president. He was a drunk, and oh my God, he was mentally ill and just horrible. But he wasn't really corrupt. But Warren Harding was considered to be corrupt. Well, guess what? Joe Biden breaks all the records. Joe Biden is by far, the most corrupt president in the history of our country. So corrupt as vice president. And don't tell me that Obama didn't know this. I don't think Obama took money. Absolutely not. Nope. You can say what you want about Obama. He was he followed orders. He was dutiful to he did exactly what they told him to do. Exactly as many do. W. Bush did the same thing, representing the neocons and the whole bit. He was it. No, I don't believe Obama was. You can say whatever you want about him. I don't think he and Michelle. Nope, never. But don't tell me that his own office. Don't tell me that our intel doesn't say to him, Mr. President, you know what he's doing, right? We're following him. Joe Biden is showing up with that son. We know all about his son. He's showing up at this place, this restaurant, from two Kazakh oligarchs. We're following him, Mr. President. We think he's a bag man. We know what Joe does. We know this. We're following him. You've got two Kazakh oligarchs with Joe Biden. You know what he does. We know this. Should we tell him? You want to tell him what's going on here? Shouldn't get somebody in trouble? Nah, that's okay. Don't tell me they don't know that. Don't tell me people didn't know about Epstein. Don't tell me they didn't know. Don't tell me everybody knew exactly what Epstein did. They know exactly what he did. Everybody, including Bill Gates and Bill Clinton and Andrew, with their intel people. They're all talking. Everybody knew this. I knew it, and everybody knew this. So this was going on for years. Did you hear the Devon Archer testimony with Tucker? If Tucker Carlson, between Bobulinski and this one, but this is Devon Archer. This is a guy who appeared, not one criminal referral. Not one criminal referral. Christine Daly writes, what are we going to do about our country, Lionel? I feel so helpless. Thank you for this. And you know what? What are we going to do? Let me tell you. And I'm glad you brought that up. First and foremost, we have to get past this blood-brain barrier. Let me put it to you very, very simply. And it's very, very, very important for me to say this to you. Unless and until we figure a way to get people to understand, to get as upset with this as they do discontinuing the McRib or whatever the hell they do. If we've got to figure out some way, Christine, some way to let people know specifically that you've got to say something. If there's no anger over this, if nobody knows it, if it's just us, the same people all the time, if it never, again, traverses that blood-brain barrier, if it doesn't affect people, if people don't, come out of the woodwork and say, wait a minute, this is it. Nothing will happen. But the good news, this is so interesting. The good news is this election. Number one, you've got, this is interesting. You've got Obama sitting down with Joe Biden and saying, this Trump is going to kick your ass. You know you're out. We know he's out. Number two, why is Gavin Newsom? How about that, honey? Gavin Newsom and DeSantis. Why are they in why? Who is Gavin? You know why I'm not in a debate? Because I'm not running for president. Gavin Newsom, how long have I been telling you about Gavin Newsom? How long have I been telling you this? And don't forget, too, Gretchen Whitmer. Don't forget. You may say, ooh, they like her. I don't know what people think, but I have been telling you this. I have been telling you that I've known this. I've seen this. I understand it. It is so clear. He's got everything they want. Forget the looks and all that. Today, that doesn't last that long. He knows the script. He knows exactly what to say. He knows how it works. That's critical. For vice president, I would sit down and I swear to you, I would pick the most telegenic, the smartest. When I get an African-American woman, fine. There are preferably somebody who is not Willie Brown's old shoe, somebody who's been around the block, somebody who is a patronage princess. I would get somebody who is impeccable. Maybe a modicum of political. This is Democrats. This is Democrats. I'm telling you, but different story. And somebody that people would fall in love with. People say, "Oh, she is so great, so smart." Not this nincompoop, but watch what happens. Now you ask, what do we do? Let me tell you what the story is. I'm telling you, if you want to know whether he does this or not, I don't know. Bobby Kennedy Jr. changed everything. Bobby Kennedy Jr. was Bernie Sanders times the dollar. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is not a Democrat. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is not woke. Bobby Kennedy is not a lefty. Bobby Kennedy, it's a different time. It is a different time. Bobby Kennedy is not that. I have been watching now over and over and over again. Hang on. This one, and you got to see this. It's just incredible. The there's Through the Looking Glass in Parkland, but the story is on, what is the one? D. Eugenio, JFK, Amazon documentary. It's so good. 4 parts. Not Through the Looking Glass. Yes, it's the 4-hour version. Destiny Betrayed. Destiny Betrayed. Please see this. Destiny Betrayed. Pay the $8, whatever it is, buy it. It's just watch it over and over and over and over, and it will just enrage you. And I would like to sit there with Bobby Kennedy. Today they showed him with it's kind of awkward. He's there with his wife, Cheryl Hines. They're on the Santa Monica Beach, and Bobby's trying to, he's not the warmest. Okay, whatever. Maybe whatever. Never be something you're not. But anyway, he's trying his best. But if I sat with him and I said, let me explain something to you. Let's look at this. Look what they did to your uncle. They washed down the car after. This was a murder scene. They washed it down. They removed the windshield where the bullet is coming through. You can see a bullet that hit the top too. It is evidence. They didn't even care. The J.D. Tippett story, everything. It's just, when you see this, Alan Dulles said, put it in the Warren Report. Nobody reads it. They killed him in front of your eyes, and they didn't care. And Ford moving the gunshot up. The bullet, you can see the shirt. You can see it where the bullet was. He moved it up for clarity. This is Gerald Ford. And that, by the way, is Richard Nixon's get out of jail card. Because there was a real talk where they weren't going to pardon Richard Nixon. And I believe in that 100%. Nixon had to be pardoned without a doubt. No bout of doubt it. Period. But I would sit there with Bobby Kennedy and say, you know who these people are? These are the people who represent this overarching government. Not the same people. Those people are dead. But the same shadow government, the same deep state, the same ruling class, the same people who came up with this phony baloney left-right paradigm. The same people who came up with this myth, this ridiculous myth of how there's this. You want to get these people back? Because even your family's turning. And did you see, check out the Daily Mail. Did you see how they're doing this Schlossberg? It's sick. They're putting him up to look like John Jr., John, I didn't call him John, but John Kennedy Jr. with next to Caroline. They're swimming. I mean, oh my God. It's over. Nobody cares about that. The Kennedy is Bobby. And I would say to Bobby, do you want to change this? Do you want to change the course of this? You can end this. You can end this. You've got people right now who are absolutely ready for a change, who are so sick of this, who want to believe, who want to be a part, who want to enjoy the participatory involvement in this, but there's nobody there. They're not left. They're not right. They're not Democrat. Do you think that Fox News, do you think that Neil Cavuto, that rat, do you think these people represent, what are you talking about? Do you think Mike Pence? Do you think Jim Jordan, who just puts on these passion plays? I want somebody to maintain, to help, sustain the permanence and the applicability of the Constitution. And you can do that. Bobby, you can do it. And I'm telling you right now, if Tucker Carlson, what do you need to be vice president? What do you need? You think Tucker Carlson's better than Carmelita Harris? Yes. Who was it? William Nance Gardner said being a vice president is nothing more than a warm bucket. He called it a warm bucket of piss, but they changed it to spit. Can you imagine it? Listen to what I'm saying. Hear me out, because you asked the question. You ask the question. It's very, very important. You ask the question, Christine Daly, what can happen? The first thing is you get people from the right. You say, come on over here. You're not a Republican. The Republican Party has left you. We will do to the Republican Party what the Republican Party did to the Democrats during the Southern strategy. That's exactly what they did. They took these folks, they took these Democrats who felt like, what is this? Now, granted, they were racist and they were still ticked off about the Civil War and Reconstruction, but Republicans were smart. They said, you come on our side. Come with us. And I asked these Republicans, do you believe in goodness? Do you believe in war, endless war? Do you believe in patriotism? Do you believe in the family? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in religion? If you do, you're not going to go with these people. They're doing nothing. They haven't lifted a finger. Right now, the American Pediatrics, you see that today? The Pediatric Society or whatever, they're still pushing for this gender reassignment, which is called mutilation. In the state of New York, we have Kathy Hochul, who basically is calling sex work, prostitution work, and she's talking about kids. They're not doing anything about that because they are so connected. They are so connected with the top tier of the most evil cabals you've ever seen in your life. Why do you think they hate Sound of Freedom? Why? The biggest, people don't understand this. Human trafficking? Oh, human trafficking? It's here. I don't have to bring cocaine and put it in the bow of a ship and bring it over and pay people off. And then I got to go back to Colombia and start all over again. I've got people here. I can pick them up here. I can pick them up in your neighborhood. I can pick them up wherever I want. And the best part about these undocumented aliens, these kids, is there's no record of them. Hortensia Fernandez Garcia Cristobal doesn't exist. Where is she? I don't know. She was either kidnapped, parents paid, whatever. I don't know. She doesn't exist, but she's here. And you can get a kid like that, and my God, they can you can just, as long as the child is physically able to endure the torture, you're right. And then after that, I don't know what to tell you. But she doesn't exist. She's a ghost. So all of a sudden, here comes Sound of Freedom, directly dealing with that. Now, do you know what happens? So all of a sudden, the top people say, hey, Everybody call that a conspiracy theory. What? Whoa. This is our okay. And these vile, horrid people dutifully and obediently showed this most incredible obeisance by saying whatever you say. And they actually talked against a movie that tried to protect children and tried to focus and tried to bring attention to children who were kidnapped and trafficked. They were against that. But Greta Thunberg can make us some imaginary story about polar bears huddling on an ice cube. There used to be an iceberg, and windmills and snail darters, and the average temperature going up 1/10 of a degree over 10 years. And that's the way they're going to get you next. That's the way they're going to get you next. Do you understand this? So for those people on the right, you want to stay with the right? Go ahead. You want to stay with the Republicans? Go ahead. You believe Jim Jordan? You think Ted Cruz? These are fronts. These are just diversion. They're doing something. Okay, we're doing. And people say, see, this is the Democratic Party. They're not doing Republican Party. They're not doing anything. Nothing. Do me a favor right now. Name one thing. And by the way, Vivek Ramaswamy, good for him. If he can do it, I'm with you 100%. Go VR. I'm with you. Whatever it was. You can do it? Fine. I don't care. Come on board. I want young. I want different. I don't care. I don't care. If there's a transgendered, non-binary, come on. I don't care any of that stuff. I want you to understand specifically what we're doing here, because you asked the question, what are we going to do? How do we get our country back? How do we win? And this today, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm watching, and I'm not gonna get emotional. But to see the president of the United States show up for this fakakta arraignment, because he dared say that I think my election was phony. I think it was stolen. Did you mean it? Yeah, I meant it. You're perpetuating. This is ridiculous. You don't mean that. You're lying. No, I mean it. No, you don't. Hillary Clinton did it. Stacey Abrams did it. In the 1960 presidential elections, I think it might have been their first one. They had a problem with the vote, with validating the electors. I can't tell you how many times this is happening. Wake up. Is anybody bringing this up? No. And what did they do? Fox News just sat there and they just described it. If they had, God forbid, a firing squad, if this was a firing squad, which in many respects symbolically it was, but if they had an actual firing squad of President Trump, you know that Martha McCallum and whatever would say, well, we're talking right now to a firing squad expert. What is the history of the firing squad? And the blindfold. There's the blindfold. They would just comment. They wouldn't say, hey, wait a minute. What? If some totalitarian regime marches down Pennsylvania Avenue with tanks, you're welcome, from another country, and is the spitting image of every horror show we've ever seen, do you think Martha McCallum would likewise say, what kind of vehicle is that? And let's go through the history right now. Let's go right now to let's go to Brett Hume, our special. Brett, you've been around for a while. You've seen your share of totalitarian regimes. Would you call this, would this be more of a Pinochet or? It's unbelievable. And Jamie Raskin can do it, and Hillary Clinton can do it, and everybody else can do it. Hillary Clinton said she made up a story about Russian disinformation and Russian collusion and Russian this and Russian that. Can anyone tell me right now? Can anyone tell me, please? What did the Russians do? Please, anybody tell me. In the light most favorable to whoever it was, tell me, What did they do? What did the Russians do? If somebody says, hello, my name is Anatoly Dobrinian Doretsky, and I was in charge of the FSB, and I went into and I changed the numbers. I went into the computer and I changed the number. Now that would be a story. That would be something. Yes, the Wisconsin primary, I changed that. That's me. I went in, I hacked, I changed it. Those not the numbers. Trump, Hillary Clinton lost. And why would, here's the best part. If you were the Russians, if you were Putin, would you want Trump or Hillary? Who can be bought off? Who can be scared? Who can be compromised? Who has the moral stamina of a, I don't know what, of an amoeba? Who has been a professional politician who has sold her soul since Watergate? Hillary. Why would they want Trump? Hillary can be bought and sold. Hillary, remember when she was running and she would give the speeches? She and Bill went for the speeches. You want a self-made? No, you want Hillary. Why would they do it? But here's the question. What did they ever do? Did they ever tell you? No. I think they said they spent $5,000 in Facebook ads. Remember those they indicted about 10 or 12 or a couple, I don't know, a dozen Russians, these names with weird names in town were like, cut your cock off. Wait a minute. What was it? What's his name? That was Lorena Bobbitt. She changed her name. You heard that one. Anyway, Lorena Bobbitt. There's a voice of no from the past. Remember that one? Imagine being the guy trying to found it. Found it. Can we sew it on? I don't know. It's got dirt. Anyway, this is where we are, my friends. So tonight it's going to be more on tonight, the special editions to Sean Hannity shows. And today's file that down. Get it appliance. Tonight we have the great one, Mark Levin. He's going to yell for a while. Okay, great. That's good. The usual says big. Jonathan Turley. I like John. Always looks like he's going to cry, but I don't know. Dershowitz. He'll interrupt Dershowitz. Then he'll have on maybe Andy. Doesn't have Andy McCarthy. Andy McCarthy is just terrific. Interrupt Andy McCarthy. Interrupt. Yeah, you want to watch that? Go ahead. It's the most incredible thing. It's like, why are you? Let the man talk. He's the expert. Incredible. And they wonder why they suck. They wonder why. You know what I would also do? But they don't do this. If I were any other channel, whether it's Fox or this, I would have special. I would push that Fox Nation thing and I would say, you want to continue this? We're going to take this. We have a special edition off. I would get away from cable news and I would start getting people onto platforms. And and by the way, please don't buzz people in for these stupid studio audiences, throw a football. What is this? What is this? The Price is Right. This is stupid. People want to understand this. But going back, if Bobby Kennedy went third party, that's it. The Democrats would say, he would pull more Democrats away. They would say, this is it. And they would say, my father, my uncle, we stand for something. We wouldn't be for these endless wars. Believe me. If anything, the thing that got them both killed was the fact that they were against war. They were against war. You don't do that. Bobby Kennedy says, guess what? We're out of here. I'm out of Vietnam. Oh, no. 1968, we got 7 more years of this. No. Sorry. Bring in Sirhan. Who is he, Sirhan? His name is twice? Okay, bring in Sirhan. Bring him in. Who is he? He's Jordanian. That's enough. Did you? Good. MK, baby. He's walking around. What? I did what? Why did you kill Bobby Kennedy? I killed Bobby Kennedy. Why? I'm asking you. I don't know. Mark David Chapman. What? I kill who? Anyway, that one will never get to the end. Nobody will ever figure that one out. And even if you did, people start talking and you're a conspiracy theorist and that sort of thing. So anyway, Lee Harvey Oswald? Oh, no. You want to do, what was that again, John Kennedy? You want to what? You want to bust the, what was it again? You want to shatter the CIA into how many pieces? Yeah, okay, watch this. Watch this. This one, well, this is sheer orchestration. How about the deal that was going to happen in Chicago right before? Same deal. Believe me, watch this Destiny Betrayed. It will blow your mind. You think you know that story? Bobby, get these people back. Run. Go third party. Get them back. Even your family, get them back. You will go down in history. You will change the course of everything. You will derail this train, my friend. You will derail this train. Hallelujah. You don't think that's possible? You don't think that's possible? Keep it up. Keep marginalizing him. Call him as anti-Semitic. Go ahead. Call him anti-Semitic. Make fun of him. Go ahead. Do it. Because let me tell you something. You know what also is happening? You ready for this? We found this out today. In the state of New Jersey in particular, a lot of these colleges going back, all of the regular vaccine protocols are still in place, still there. Nothing's changed. I don't want to get off into that tangent, but they're going to start saying, wait a minute, what was that? What? You thought that was over, didn't you? You thought we were done with that. We're not done with that. Ever. Like I said, the purpose of that was to ask, just to let you know. Next time, we're going to double down. Everybody knew the mistakes. This is to answer your question. The future of this country right now is going to be, you're not going to recognize it. And something has to be done now, and something has to be done drastically. You've got to take this left-right joke, and you've got to shatter it with new people, with new ideas, and new policies, and new positions, and new platforms, and new names to take this system and blow it up. You got it? That's an expression, a figurative expression. No violence, never violence. Let me make sure we understand that. Never, never, never. That's the other side. That's BLM and Antifa. We don't do that. We don't have to do that. We get them with their ideas. That's all. And there is nothing that scares these people more than Tucker Carlson. That's why they wanted him buried, because of what he represented. He's not going to sit there with a bunch of idiots throwing a football, but I digress. All right, dear friends. Thank you. Please make sure you follow Mrs. L. Make sure you follow Mrs. L, and make sure you go and you do everything that you need to follow her about. And I'm going to give you this right now, just a second, because this is very, very critical. She's putting out the best. I don't want to say she's vindicated, but she's been talking about kids and trafficking forever. When people kept saying to her, why are you talking about this? She goes, because it's happening. She put on a one-day colloquium, if you will, on Capitol Hill. That was just 8 hours, baby. Her first venture. We were there from the beginning, and we left at night, left the Capitol. When one guy was up and he was cleaning one of the statues in that main statuary area, we were there the whole day. Nobody paid a penny for that. She was doing this before anybody was doing this. And now all of a sudden everybody's jumping on board, which is great. But let's see how long they mean it. Because all they want to do is keep saying pedophile. My God. It's a little bit more complicated than that. So anyway, one more time. How do you thank her? You go to her YouTube channel and you sign up. That's it. Because we need numbers and we need metrics. And that's it. All right, dear friends, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for everything. It means so much to us. Christine Daly, thank you so much for your kindness and your glory. And I think I do not know. I forget. I do not remember. It clears, so forgive me. But to our other compatriots, thank you as well. You're very, very kind. And don't think that's not appreciated. All right, dear friends, we will see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel in the morning, 8 a.m. Have a great and a glorious night. Do not give up hope. Do not give up the ship. We're going to win this thing, but we're going to have to do it with enlisting other people. Okay? Not just sitting back and letting everybody else come in and do our work for us. We have to do it. All right. We love you. Have a great and glorious evening. See you tomorrow. And don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad.